When we change our perspective from I have to I get to, we unlock that door for endless gratitude. And we open ourselves more to those abundant blessings that God talks about in the Bible. Welcome back to another episode of the Ignite the World podcast, episode number 11, Unlocking Gratitude and Embracing the Get To Mentality Mindset. I am your host, Jamie Dottie Garza, and if you have not yet done so, please consider to subscribe so you never miss another episode of this podcast. And if you're out there and you want to see this podcast in video form, you know I got your back like chiropractic. Go check out our YouTube channel at Ignite the World Podcast, where you'll see all the video podcast episodes and tons more of motivational videos for you. And today, on episode number 11, I want to talk about something that's been in my life since the start of this week, literally Monday, actually last Sunday. It's Sunday now, recording this episode on March 19th. And something that's been unveiling itself all throughout the week. And I had a deep reflection, I would say, 3 days ago? I think it was Thursday. I went on a walk. And mind you, this walk was because I had to drop off my wife's car, our Jeep, to the repair shop. And it's real close by where I live. And I took a self-reflection walk on the way home. And I'm glad I did, because I always love taking walks. I get some of my best ideas, some of my deepest prayers. This is very therapeutic for me. And when I was taking this walk, I realized that I got in a habit since the start of the week. I was starting to complain about little things. I was starting to say, oh, I have to get on these sales calls. I have to follow up with these brides. I have to go to these meetings. I have to film some interviews on the weekend. And I had to do some deep reflection and tell myself, wait, I asked for all of these things 5 years ago. I prayed for in 2018 to be in a position to even have people want to get on a call with me, and to potentially see how video can be used in their business, to have brides even reach out to me on their own to potentially ignite their love story, to even be in these conversations. I was literally begging for this in 2018. I remember I could even do a free video for free because nobody trusted me. And I said, I don't have to do anything. I get to. When we change our perspective from I have to I get to, we unlock that door for endless gratitude. And we open ourselves more to those abundant blessings that God talks about in the Bible. And it seemed like every day with that mindset, I was able to appreciate more of the day. You see, the impact of the language we tell ourselves every day when we wake up all the way till we go to sleep makes a huge difference on how we operate throughout the day. The words we use, they say positivity attracts more positive things. I am a firm believer in that. If we look at an aspect of maybe an orange, right? You know, when sometimes when those little cuties, you buy the bag of cuties. I love cuties, by the way. My kids love cuties. We battling for the cuties. We either battling for the bananas or the cuties in the house. That's our fruits of choice. But you know how sometimes you might get, after a few days, you might get a cutie that's going bad, and then it starts to, around the other cuties would get mold or whatever that is. It will start to go bad too. Well, we got to think about that with not only the people we surround ourselves with, but also the words we use to describe us, to describe what we're doing. For example, I have to go take the kids to school. I have to go pick up Carter from the bus stop. I have to go run these errands. I have to pay these invoices. I have to send this footage out to get edited. I have to go have a sales meeting with this individual. I have to work on a Sunday to film this interview so she can grow her business. Have to, have to. Have to sounds like you are, like it's a burden almost. Like you have to do this. I have to do that. Now listen to this mindset shift. I get to go pick up my child from the bus stop. I get to go drop them off at school. I get to pay these invoices. I get to send these video files to be edited by a team member to save me time. I get to go film interviews over the weekend to help these nonprofits, to help these business owners tell their story, to build their audience and gain more clients, to gain more eyeballs to their business. I get to be a great husband. I get to be a husband every day. I don't have to buy my wife. This is the biggest rage too on TikTok. Apparently, I'm not on, but my wife is. I love you, baby. These Stanley Cups. I don't have to buy her that. I get to. I even have a wife I get to spoil. Like, you see how big, and just speaking about this, how big of a difference that is? And when you continue to express this day in and day out, even waking up, I get to wake up. I get to experience another day. I get to see the sun rise. I get to. That's a little spark of positivity to ignite your day. And when you cultivate gratitude in your daily life, more people will be attracted to you, more positive opportunities, more positive events will happen. I had a great talk with my younger brother who's turning 15 next month. Shout out, hey, what's up, Sonny? I love you. We had a great talk about this as well. This was on Friday. We went downtown, got some Benny's Pizza, had some man talk on the 101. You know, really, we're like almost 20 years apart. So I was just pouring him all this knowledge and telling him about my podcast. I was asking about him, his goals he has for the next 5 years. And one thing I was telling him is everything we do every day, we get to. Like, I'm just so blessed. I get to chill with my younger brother. I get to take him downtown to grab a bite to eat, to take him around to shops I love going to, like Italian Station. Hey, Anita, happy shout out to Anita if you're watching this. Happy 5 years in business at Italian Station in downtown Fredericksburg. I get to take him to these places. I get to go into my favorite card shops and get some novelty toys, and I don't have to. I get to. I get to be a bigger brother, an older brother. I grew up not even thinking I would have brothers or sisters, and here I am. I get to have that in my life. And it just makes you appreciate a lot of things more. And sometimes in our world, and I expressed this on past episodes, like sometimes we forget how blessed we really are. You know, have you ever been in that position where, you know, things might not be as good as you want and things may be going down, like you can't catch a break, right? And you might be praying and it seems like God's not answering your prayers fast enough or he's not coming on time. Well, let me tell you, God's time is always perfect. God will never deny you. God may you make you delay. He may delay things, but his timing is always perfect. And these are some of those perfect moments and perfect timing that things are unfolding right now in my life. I know the next few weeks are going to be super turned up on my end. My wife is already understanding of that. My wife told me, like, everything that's happening right now, you literally prayed for 5 years ago. I remember having a planner and it wasn't filled. I don't have to fill this planner. I get to now. I get to fill up these slots of how I use my time. I get to be in demand. I don't have to make this podcast. I get to each and every week. And building this platform, I get to potentially inspire someone out there, at least one person, to listen to this message, to take this message and incorporate in their life. Spreading positivity, I get to do that. When you replace the phrase I have to with I get to, you're not just changing words, you're transforming the entire outlook on life for greater happiness and greater success. Because at the end of the day, us as human beings, doesn't matter who you are, what you do, what you've been through, it's safe to say we all want two things: to be happy and to be successful. And successful can mean different things for everybody. That's opinion based. One idea of success could be different from the next person, no matter the age bracket. And that's safe to say. So when you shift these words around, it's planting seeds in your brain to rise above and be positive, to attract more positivity. This mind shift has really humbled me. I say oftentimes when I'm overwhelmed or I'm stressed, when I might be depressed, when my mental health may not be up to par, I can always count the blessings and be grateful for the things I do have and compare my life now compared to what it was 5 years ago. I say 5 years a lot because 5 years, there's a lot of things that happen in 5 years. Where I was then is not where I'm at now. But what I know is that in the next 5 years, I will be looking upon this very moment right here and reflecting on it as I continue to elevate. Next 5 years, I'm going to be 38 years old. And I have big dreams because I always learned if you're going to dream as big as you can. You're not supposed to know exactly how you're going to get that dream, and that's not for any of us to know. Only God can tell us. Only God can show you, because that's what he's going to do. He's going to show you. He's not going to tell you. He's going to show you. And I realized I was dreaming too small because I was overthinking, like, how can I do this? How can I do that? How in the world? It's not my job for that. See, once I started to let God drive instead of riding shotgun with me, riding shotty with Dottie, I decided to let him in the driver's seat. And then I'm riding shotty. I'm riding passenger. Because when you do that, anything is possible. Again, I'm a walking testament of that. I gave God a promise, one of my darkest moments that I'm going to be sharing in May, that I would continue to uplift his name and be a testament of his work and what he can do. Let's be real. I know life gets hard for anybody. I got the honor to interview some amazing parents in our community on Saturday, telling their story of an organization that helps others. Shout out to Healthy Families, Rappahannock area. What up, Mel? What up, Lori? What up, Martha? And some of those parents have been through a lot because there's no blueprint to raising kids. You have a child and it starts and it never stops. You might get some breaks in between. You might get some help. You might need to decompress for a few, but it goes on each and every day. And it truly inspired me, and I had a lot of empathy for parents out there who have to do it themselves sometimes and raise a child themselves. I grew up in a single family household. My mom had to do that. So I know totally what that feels like. But even in those moments, you can say, I get to be a mother. I get to be a father. I get to learn each day in raising this child. I get to raise a human being to be successful, to learn, to grow. So it doesn't matter what you're going through, positive, because even when it's good, count your blessings. I used to make a mistake a long time ago. I was telling my brother this, how I used to pray. I used to only pray when I needed something. And prayer for me isn't always going to church or getting on my knees. Oftentimes, prayer for me is conversations, talking out loud when I'm walking, when I'm in the car, when I'm alone. Anytime I get praying for how grateful I am for things I do have, praying for what I'm blessed with, praying for others, praying for what I look forward to, being thankful for what's about to happen in my life. I know you guys probably have goals you want to accomplish. You guys want to continue to get to success. You're continuing to want happiness. I challenge everyone out there to remember that life isn't just a series of tasks and things we have to complete. It's a precious gift filled with many opportunities that we get to embrace and cherish. And having this mind shift of get to instead of have to can truly unlock that for your life. I challenge any one of my listeners right now, if you're listening, to try it out. Give it a shot. Try it for a day and then do it for 2 days. Try it for a week. See how your month is. We live in a culture now where we want instant results. Like we want fast results. Well, I said this before. I tell my kids this all the time. I tell upcoming entrepreneurs this all the time. Sometimes if you get it fast, it won't last. You got to keep staying consistent. That's how anything great happens. I read a recent article about Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to Kobe. And it said Kobe Bryant, when he started, he would practice. I think he would practice at 9 a.m., take a break, go back at 12. Take a break, go back at 2. Take a break, go back at 5. Take a break and go back at 9. Everyone else will only practice 2 times a day, but he got it in 3 extra times, and he did that consistently, week in, week out, month after month, year after year. So eventually, he was running laps and circles around everybody else. And it's that consistency, it's that determination, it's that discipline that's going to make bigger shifts happen. And it all starts with your mindset and being positive. Keep attracting positivity. Spread positivity. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said, this has been something literally happened to me all week. And I'm so thankful that I get to speak about this on this podcast. If you can relate, leave a comment below. Share this podcast. And thank you so much for all the listeners who tune in every week, or you may binge week. The fact is, I'm just so grateful to be heard and building this platform into something amazing. Thank you guys very much. And remember, we are all like sticks of dynamite. The power's on the inside, but nothing happens until the fuse gets lit. Ignite the world.